Hello, it's Brother Gerald, YouTube philosopher, and today is Super Bowl Sunday, February 5th, which is my birthday. And at the topic of today has nothing to do with my birthday or the Super Bowl, but this political discussion that we've been having regarding the firing of this U.S. attorney. Because as much as I would say her motivations for doing what she did as being noble, the fact that what she was objecting to as far as the order being unconstitutional is not the issue that I have a problem with. It's how she went about making this thing a public spectacle. Because one of the things that I would say about politics is that in regards to us being in this thing called government, we should all consider ourselves servants to the people. And the people have organized the government in such a way that we have a chain of command and we have specific protocols. And if we don't have an understanding of those protocols, we have what they call common sense. And to me, the issue is not whether or not she's a noble woman and saying, I'm not going to do this. The issue is what I would call protocol and decency. And what I'm going to say is this. If she had a problem with the order, she receives the order through normal communications. She doesn't receive an order from outside, so she can't say that this was an emergent condition, because an emergency means that there's something that happens outside the normal stream of doing your job. So she gets this order from the president, and this order is being implemented by the TSA and airport administrators all over the world. And now we have one more department that needs to get in line to follow this order, and she gets the order. What's wrong with making a phone call to one of the aides? If you don't have immediate access to the president being the head of this U.S. Attorney's office, then you have access to somebody that has access to the president, or there's a chain that you can reach, and it's at a point where we're counting on your expertise as a U.S. attorney to, when you look at these orders that you receive, that you think about the orders and implications and all of this, and then you go back. If you find something out of order, you go back and you communicate this to your boss. Because one of the things that you can Google is, what is the job of the U.S. attorney? And one of the classic terms that I saw on Google was that the U.S. attorney serves at the pleasure of the president. So she is in a position of honoring this man and making him look good and making his job as president look as professional as she can make it look. So for her to grandstand and have this press conference, because it's not just a matter of her getting this order and, going down to a room filled with news reporters and having a press conference. No, she has to make some phone calls. She has to make arrangements for these things to take place. And by the same token, if she has that much energy and thought to have this press conference, she could have just as much energy and thought within 10 minutes of reading and understanding the order to get on the phone and call her supervisor to tell her that this order is going to be embarrassing to the president because it's unconstitutional, and I think we're going to have some issues with it. And if the president comes back and tells me that I'm to execute this order forthwith after him receiving this counsel from the U.S. attorney, then she can basically say this: okay, well, I cannot execute this order, and if you're going to make me execute this order after having given you the wise counsel that I'm going to give you, I'm going to have to tender my resignation, and I'm going to hold a press conference stating that we had this discussion, that I did advise the president that this is an unconstitutional act and I can't enforce it in good conscience, and therefore I have to publicly announce my resignation, and it's on these grounds. To me, that's an honorable way to get this controversy started before the public, because she honored her immediate supervisor. And I know most people that have jobs of any great responsibility understand that you don't go over your supervisor's head unless it's absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. And to me, I don't see how in the aftermath anybody could say that this was an emergency situation. Because even after the court got wind of this issue, the only thing a Supreme Court justice was, yeah, it appears it's unconstitutional. But did he lose any sleep? Did he order the Supreme Court convened? Did he take it within his power to act to create an injunction? No, he waited for somebody to file suit in order for him to take action to place a temporary injunction on the enforcement of this order from the president. So no matter how a person may think about their supervisor, whether you think he's an idiot or whether you think he's the best thing since, sliced bread, you have to make your supervisor look good at all costs. But it's at a point that you don't want to lose your integrity by showing your ass by stepping over the boundaries of your position, because this doesn't make the American government look good whatsoever. She looks very unprofessional, and to me, she really forced the hand of the president, which maybe that was the whole idea, that they want to try to paint this picture that this man is just a vindictive, a retaliatory kind of person. But in leadership, you cannot afford dissension. You just can't. It's too... I'd rather have people fear me as a leader than to think that I'm indecisive. So with her basically saying, I'm not going to enforce this law, well, why do you think I gave you the order in the first place? For you to show that I'm indecisive, that I can't make a decision and expect it to be carried out? To me, that is going to create more problems for the president than it's going to be helpful. So let's see if we can get the discussion to go into that direction, because the constitutionality of it or not, to me, is not even the issue. It's a matter of honoring and being honored, and the issue of constitutionality would still be a subject to be broached with her leaving in an honorable condition. But her being fired, everybody wants to feel sorry for the woman. But my thing is, I really don't feel sorry for her, because her resigning and her being taken out of the position by force resulted in the same thing. It put the move on the president to get a replacement, and we're still having a discussion about the constitutionality of the issue. So that's what I want y'all to think about. It's not a matter of her, doing what she did. It's not so much, and this is what I hear women say all the time, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So if that's truly something that women are so considering and thinking about, why couldn't she have done it the way I presented it in this video? I think that women are very hypocritical, and I think the reason why is because we have this confused view of our sexual positions and things like that, and that just creates more problems for us all. So I hope you guys like this video, and I hope it gets you to think clearly, and get a blessing, because ultimately we all want to look good, and even the most idiotic person doesn't want to be embarrassed. So kudos to you, Donald Trump, for doing your job, because you had a right to fire this woman, and shame on you, Mrs. Yates, for talking out of turn and embarrassing your boss, because this is very embarrassing to him. Everybody's talking more about, how could he do this? Well, he didn't have good counsel, because she didn't want to counsel him. She wanted to show her ass to basically make public how ignorant this man is. But to me, is that her job? No, her job is to serve at the pleasure of the president and honor the people. And none of this aftermath is honoring to anybody. So peace to you all.